I'm Christy, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be using the Morphe collaboration with James Charles, the Unleash Your Inner Artist Artistry palette. I'm sure everybody's seen it by now, but if you haven't, here it's here. There you go. So obviously today, as you can probably tell, I have stuck to just mostly the blue colours. I've dipped into the white and I've dipped into the black as well. I definitely will do another look with this palette. I was just, to be honest, I dyed my hair a really shitty colour and I was feeling really sad and really blue, so I done my makeup to match my mood. I would also really appreciate that if for the duration of this video you pretended that my hair wasn't as shit as this. You can just pretend that it's blonde or a nice shade of pink. Just ignore this, what's actually the reality that my hair is. I don't want to talk about it. I have already filmed a video on me dyeing my hair. Obviously it went not as good as I wanted it to go, but I think that video will already have been posted, so I will link it below if that's the case. And let's just dive straight into the makeup. My eyeball's leaking really badly and it's coming like patchy here and taking my makeup away, but please do just ignore that if you can see it. Pretend it doesn't exist. So I'm obviously using the James Charles Artistry palette. This is what we shall be doing today. I'm not really going to go through like all the shades and stuff like that because I feel like everybody's already done that. James has already done that on his channel as well if you wanted to see that. But yeah, so basically I'm just going to be recreating this on this eye. I'm a little bit pink stained because I had been using this earlier on, but that doesn't bother me. I'll just cover it up with concealer tomorrow if it's still like that, and it'll come off in a couple of like washes. I'm sure it doesn't really matter. That happens quite often with eyeshadows, and I don't actually know which ones of these are pressed pigments and which one of them are shadows. I think this pink one is a pressed pigment, and it does say that that can stain. If that bothers you, don't use it. If it doesn't bother you, use it. Doesn't bother me, couldn't care less. So I've already got my base down for my eyeshadow. I've just used the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I'm in the shade C3. You can use a makeup primer if you want. You can use your own concealer if you want. I don't know, do what works for you, sister. So the first colour I'm going to go in with is this really nice blue colour here. Definitely one of my favourite colours in the palette. I was immediately, my eyeballs were like drawn to it. Yes, so going to go in with this, and that is the shade Playground. The only thing that I do not like about this palette is the shade names just come on like the protective sheet here like this, so obviously you can just fling that away, but I'm just going to keep mine and hold it up there so that I can see what the shade names are. I feel like they could just easily print them on here, but Morphe never seems to do that for some reason. That would be amazing if they did though. And I'm just taking this on a relatively fluffy brush and sort out my creases, and I'm just patting that just above my crease, and I'm not swiping it, I am patting it because I feel like that's how I'm going to get the most colour payoff. When I was playing about with the pink on this eye, I went in and just started blending and swirling right away, and I was getting some pigment from it, but it wasn't working as best as it could be working, so I feel like this pressing on then blending out technique is going to work a lot better. Like what eye makeup looks like this, they are so ugly until they're decent looking, so right up until the very last minute this was atrocious, and now, well, I quite like it. I think it's hard to tell when I don't have my brow on and the rest of my face makeup, but I think when everything's done, I think I like it, and I'm really pleased with how the colours are performing and the pigment payoff on them and how they blend. Obviously I've only really used the blue shades, but I will probably create hundreds of makeup looks with this, I can imagine. I really want to try the neutrals, and I'm going to do that tomorrow for when I'm going to work. I think just a nice neutral, because I'm planning on having nice makeup tomorrow because I dyed my hair pink and it is rank, so I'm hoping that if I have nice makeup tomorrow it's going to distract everybody for the fact that my hair is vile. And I've just dusted off whatever's on that brush that I used, and then I'm just taking the relatively clean brush round the edge of this and using little back and forward motions. I'm starting to blend it. And basically I'm just going to keep adding more of that playground shade and then blending it out. Every time I'm adding the playground shade I'm doing that stamping motion along my crease and just above my crease, wiping off the excess and then blending just on top of it where the shadow meets my skin. It's that line along there that I'm wanting to blend, and if I'm having trouble blending out that line, as you can see there, that's not very blended at all. I'm dipping a little bit into playground, tapping off the excess and using it to blend itself out with. With this bigger fluffy brush I am going to go into the white shade in the palette just to help blend that out a little bit more. The white shade is called Flashback. I love that you called it that. And you see how just adding that little bit of white just helped that blend out so much easier. And I'm just continuing to add more of playground just until I'm happy with how intense this is looking. I feel like this is one of those looks where there's just a lot of back and forward and doing the same step over and over again. Hold on, I really need to check when my pizza is going to be here because I am fucking starving. Okay, so I think that's blended out enough for now. I'm actually having trouble remembering what I did next. I cannot for the life of me remember what I done next, if I'm being perfectly honest. So I'm going to go in with this shade here, Cola, and I'm just going to take that on like a very tapered little brush, and I'm getting quite light-handed with it, and I'm just running that lightly along my crease just to darken it up a little bit. I'm not going too heavy-handed with this or anything. Like, I'm hardly touching this at all, and the pigment coming off it is just so good. I love this type of palette that has so many neutrals in it and so many colours in it. Like, I can see myself using this all the time. I feel like this is one of those ones as well that if I was going away like on holiday or just going somewhere, anywhere that wasn't home and I needed to take a palette with me, this would be such an easy palette just to take, and you could probably create like a million different looks with it. I feel like I'm rushing this eye a little bit because it says that my pizza is due to come in 20 minutes and I want to finish this eye before it comes, so I don't feel like that's going to happen, but it's not going to happen if I keep talking, is it? If I finish this eye then I could eat, do my base, and then voila, bada-bing, bada-boom. I need to stop saying that because I've said that in like the last 2 videos and it's been so embarrassing when I've been editing it back and hearing myself saying bada bing bada boom, and then it makes me think, did I say that in real life? I must, unless I just get like nervous on camera and I say just shit that I would never usually say in real life. That's possible. Okay, with that shade Cola again, I'm just going to take that on a more flat topped brush so that I can place it a little bit more precisely, and I'm going to place this on my inner corner and my outer corner. And then with Playground, which was the lighter blue that we had used at first, I'm just going to place that right next to where I placed Cola and a little bit on top of it. Okay, I'm just dusting off my brush a little bit. I'm dusting it off on my leggings. You can use like a cloth or a piece of kitchen roll or something like a normal non-tramp person, but this is how we do it around these parts. I'm just going to dip into both of those shades and start blending them together. I feel like this just needs deepened up in the crease a little bit, so I'm taking Cola again on that tapered brush and just using window wiper motions just to darken it up ever so slightly. And then with this really lovely shimmery blue shade here, it's like a kind of turquoisey blue, it's really really pretty. I'm taking that on quite a small brush, wetting my brush once it's on there, just because I feel like with any kind of shimmery shadow the pigment is always a lot better with a wet brush, and I don't like to wet my brush first and then dip into my eyeshadow because I feel like that ruins the eyeshadow a little bit. Sorry, I'm just placing this on the centre of my eye where we didn't put any of those other shades, just to create a little spotlight type eye. And to blend those colours together a little bit more, I'm going to go in with the shade Cola that we've been using, the darker blue. I'm also going to go in with this dark blue shimmer shade here, which is called Acapella. And I'm just going to use a mixture of the both of them just to blend out these harsh edges. And I would do that by just gently patting over and blending between the two lines. I'm trying to keep the shimmer as much to the centre as possible. So if I feel like I've dragged that too far, I'm taking that matte Cola shade here and then dragging in the way towards the shimmer rather than dragging out the way. And with Acapella, which was the shimmery blue, I'm taking that kind of right where the matte meets the shimmer. Laying that down. I'm not wetting this shimmery shade because I am just using this purely to blend these colours together and make the transition between matte and shimmer a little bit more seamless. So I don't want that colour to be like super prominent or standing out or anything. I am just using it as a blending shade. And then I always take a slightly fluffier brush and dust over it slightly where the mattes meet the shimmers. Okay, here's where I just started doing shit and adding shit, and I'm not quite sure if I remember what I done. So what I think I did was go in with that shimmery blue, Hello, that was called, and take that on my inner corner and blend it out in the inner half of my lower eyeball. And then I took Cola, which was the darker matte blue that we had been using, and ran that along the length of my other eyeball part. My outer eyeball, that would be. And we do cover this with glitter a little bit later, so I don't need to be the most precise in the world. And any fallout, I'm going to clean it up. That's why I've done my eyes first. So I was a little bit back and forward with this eye look because I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing, but I feel like I am going to try and do it in kind of the same order as what I've done this eye so that it turns out somewhat the same. So I'm pretty sure the next thing that I done was, oh, actually I know what I done. I went in with the blue shade from the I Heart Revolution multi-liner pen, I think that's what it's called, and I went in with the blue shade and I ran that along my bottom waterline. My eyes are really watering actually, and my makeup is becoming so patchy here, it's leaking a lot. I'm going to try and fix it once I have my foundation and stuff on, but I just have very leaky eyes. And then along that I went and stamped Playground just to kind of set that in place. This liner is not showing up on this eye because it's watering so much. That is the one thing, like you would think with me being so used to doing my makeup all the time that my eyes wouldn't water, but honestly it's a problem every day. If somebody found a cure for watery eyes, they would be my hero. Like antihistamines and stuff do not help. Okay, and then I'm taking my eyeliner, which is the NYX Epic Ink Liner, and I'm simply just drawing a line from inner corner to outer corner. Oh my god. Because I've got one of these wee dodgy bits on my liner, which I find is pretty common with this NYX Epic Ink Liner. It's the only one thing that I don't like about it. It's went so smudgy on this eye. I'm going to try and go in with shadow and clean that up. I'm just going to go over the top of it, I reckon, with Cola and Hello, and hopefully that'll clean it up a little bit. And for the glitter along my eyeliner, I have actually mixed two different glitters together. How nice is the packaging for these, by the way? This is the first time that I've ever used them and they are really nice. I was so surprised with the little bottles. I just think the little balls, this is so cute. Anyway, I digress. They are by LA Splash Cosmetics, and the ones that I mixed together are Bay Breeze, which is this nice royal blue one, and then the gold one, which does not have a sticker on the bottom of it, so I don't know what it's called. Hold on, I think I've still got the box. And the gold one is called Mai Tai. I've just got them both on my dressing table and I've just tapped these out and swirled them together. And the reason I've mixed them together is because I felt like the blue was a little bit too dark for my eyeliner for this eye look. I felt like it wouldn't really show up as much, but I did want little specks of blue in there as well along with the gold. I hope you can see that. So I've got my NYX glitter primer here. I'm just popping a little bit of that on the back of my hand. And then with a tiny little skinny brush like this, I like to use this little angled brush by Makeup Geek. It is called the Bent Liner Brush. Mine is a bit done in though, to be honest. I could be really doing with a new one. Although I feel like little nail art brushes that you get are just as good as this brush. And you can get them for like next to nothing really on eBay. And then with a separate little skinny brush, I am just dipping into the glitter and patting that along where we've done the liner. Wait, I'm actually just going to go back to my little angled brush. That brush is a little bit too fluffy for this actually. Okay, and then so that that liner just doesn't end super bluntly and harshly, I'm just going to take this little brush here. It doesn't really matter what kind of brush you take. I would probably take something little and precise like this is what I would recommend. I'm going to go into the black in the palette, which is called Spooky. And I'm just going to blend from the end of that eyeliner and my full inner corner and just darken up this full outer part of my eye so that you can't really see where the eyeliner ends and the rest of the makeup begins. I mean, you can if you really look in, but... Okay, so I've cleaned off my little liner brush. I'm just going to go back in with my NYX glitter primer and I'm running that along this outer part of my eye here. I'm also running that just slightly on the outer corner of my eye. And then I'm actually going to go in with this kind of fluffy tapered brush here and I'm going to dip into just the blue glitter and pat that along my lash line and up into here. This glitter is not going to be really noticeable on the outer corner. I just wanted to add it because I liked it. And then right over the top of that glitter, I've cleaned off this fluffy brush. I'm going into Spooky, which was the black shade again. And I'm just darkening all of this up just to match this side. That's my pizza here. I'm actually just taking some of that Spooky colour on like a denser brush just so that I can really place some darkness on the outer part. And then the final thing that I done on this eye was, what did I do? Oh yeah, I went into the light blue shade that we had in the centre, Playground, and I just took this on quite a big fluffy brush and I brushed it just up here quite messily as a kind of highlighting shade. Okay, I'm going to pop on my mascara. The mascara I'm using is the Mascara Revolution mascara. Then I'm going to do the rest of my face and clean up any little bits that have my leaky eyeballs have ruined. Put my lashes on and then I'll be back for my farewells. Okay, so that is the finished look with all of my makeup done. The only thing that I have added in is I have put this chunky Festival glitter by Festival Face. I've put little bits of that just on the inner corners of my eyes. I just used my NYX glitter primer to stick this on with and I just thought it was like a little extra added touch. I've obviously paired it with a blue lip, so I mean I do look a bit mental. I know that I look a bit mental. I love the eye makeup though. I just don't think I like my pink hair, blue face combo. I feel like it's a lot of things going on at the one time in it. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can see videos in the future. Feel free to leave a like if you want and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!